Hello, welcome to this still nighttime taste challenge. I have two single malt Highland Scotch whiskies. This is Tomatin Dualchas, but sold in the rest of the world as Tomatin Legacy, introduced 9 years ago. Cultural heritage is what it means, legacy. So in the rest of the world, it's called Legacy. But there's already a Scotch whiskey trademarked in the United States called Legacy Scotch. I have it, blended Scotch, but it's been on the market since 1962. So they had to come up with a different name. They just used the Scottish Gaelic word for Legacy Dualchas. All right, 43% alcohol. It's in 750 milliliter bottles. If you buy it in Scotland, it's 700 milliliters, 70 centiliters. So we get more. No age statement, but there's a video from the company. They state is like 6 to 8 years, but a lot of these don't put age statements. It's a nice embossed clear glass bottle. I paid like $26.99 at Walmart. The price has since gone up, unfortunately. All right, here is Trader Joe's Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, rum cask finish. It's aged in ex-bourbon barrels, and it's finished. That's why they call it double maturation. It's finished in ex-rum cask from somewhere. I thought it was Caribbean, but they don't actually say that. But no website listing. Trader Joe's doesn't even discuss it on their website. But Trader Joe's has been in business since 1967. Yes, our local Trader Joe's sell liquor, beer, wine, and liquor. Other Trader Joe's, some sell no alcohol, depending on the state, I was on a tour at Jack Daniel's Distillery years ago, and the man said the reason they don't put an age statement is because you got to pay a tax. If it's age stated, there's some kind of extra tax. This is what he said. He said, so I can't tell you that it's aged 4 years. Kind of, stepping around the topic. Now, this Tomatin is also aged in ex-bourbon barrels, which is the typical way Scotch is aged, but it's finished in virgin oak, new oak barrels, never before used oak barrels. So their distillery was started in 1897. Then when the Scotch whiskey industry was down in the mid 80s, it did go out of business for a few months. True story. Then a Japanese investment group bought it, and they revived it, and now it's still out there. Now, if you look at their website, they have so many. Well, I'll show you the website, but they were talking about how back years ago they did a lot of blended Scotch, which they might still make. You see, they probably alias name or something like that. Okay, no, gotta add a little bit more. A malt whiskey matured in a combination of bourbon barrels and virgin oak cask. So it's single malt, no grain whiskey added. Although malted barley is a grain, but feel like corn alcohol, corn whiskey. Okay. There you go, 43% alcohol. See, they're showing a smaller bottle. $37 euros. I'm sorry, British pound. Ooh, that would make it over $40 in America. But I don't think it's that much over here, really. I think you can find it. $17.99 was what I paid for the Trader Joe's. $17.99. Now, Tomatin makes a lot of products, you see. But if you go on the, they show where it is up there in the Highlands, the hill country, we call it, if it was in Texas. There's the certificate of incorporation, which they still own. Old photos. The 80s, revival in the 70s and downslope. Rescue effort fails to save Tomatin Distillery, on an old newspaper article. New chapter. Didn't stay closed. February 1986, two Japanese companies, Takara Shuzo and Okura company purchased the distillery to form Tomatin Distillery Limited. And Takara Shuzo remains the majority shareholders to this day. And you see they had this King whiskey. J.W. Hardy, which they bought out. Then they decided to focus on single malt quality over quantity. And this 2016, when they brought in this new format, new bottle design, and the new look Tomatin, what you want to call it. And a lot of these single malt companies, they'll sell their single malts to blenders, blending companies, to make blended Scotch. Now, this one is very pale. I doubt they're adding any color into it because it's very pale, but they don't say non-colored. I don't think it says natural color, but it doesn't seem like. Now, this one seems pretty dark, as you can see. Could that be coming from the rum cask? Well, maybe, but a lot of these do add color in. I'm going to have to close my eyes because if I glance down and see that light color, I'm going to know it's Tomatin. Now, with the 43% alcohol versus 40% give it away, that's not too big of a difference, you see, 43 to 40. So that's debatable, doubtful, actually. I just think the flavor is going to change. But I've been shocked so far by this Trader Joe's. It's got me down on too low already, which I thought for sure I had it right, and I didn't. So $17.99, it's definitely competing far above what you would expect for that price point, which is pretty much the lowest price you're going to ever see a single malt being sold for. You know that. I don't know how Trader Joe's does it, but it's procured by Hamish Robertson for Trader Joe's. Now, where does Hamish Robertson get their whiskey? See, they don't make whiskey. They're simply an independent bottler. Well, it could be from Tomatin for all we know, because almost all these single malt distilleries do overflow, and they do private label, like to independent bottlers. They do sales to blenders. Like I say, Caolilla is used in a lot of blends. Glenfiddich, famous single malt. It's used in a lot of blended Scotch, like Grant's. That's what gives it the flavor. And Crown Royal, they'll tell you, and many of their, not Crown Royal, what am I saying? I meant to say, because the same parent company, I meant to say Johnny Walker. They'll tell you in many cases whose single malts are being used in the blend. It is openly say. I know with White Horse, that's not Johnny Walker, but it is the same parent company, Diageo. White Horse Scotch, they use Lagavulin as their main lead single malt. They claim it gives it a smoky flavor. It does a little bit, like a real little bit, but it does give it a little character, you see. Not a lot happening on the nose here in my left hand. Just like bread crust. Like brown bread crust, maybe that, maybe just white bread crust. What about peat? Nope. What about smoke? No way. These Highland Scotch single malts don't usually have that character. This one smells like candy. Sugar candy, maybe caramel candy, and that's making me think the rum. Because I don't think this Highland not aged in rum cask would have that. It is sort of like a rum aroma. So you could tell if I'm right because you could see which one's darker. I can't see. I got my eyes closed. But let's go. My eyes. Doctor, my eyes. All right, let's go with the taste. Cheers. A lot of bread. That's got to be Tomatin. Little oak. Walmart had that Tomatin 12 year, and I was like, I'm going to buy it eventually, but I think they stopped carrying it. I hadn't seen it over there. They might have put it in that cabinet, locked it, but I can. They even had the Glenmorangie 12, but I don't know. If anything goes slow there, they'd bounce it, which makes me wonder why they still got the Johnny Walker High Rye on the shelf. They must have 24 bottles, and they're selling it for $20 and 27 cents. Things still ain't moving. I mean, it doesn't appear to be. I could be wrong. They might be selling it and restocking it, selling it and restocking, but I don't see that possibility really. Yeah, classic single malt. Well, you know what? I do think I'm picking up a little smoke there at the undertaste. A little bit. Yeah, it's definitely there. Peaty smoke. Yeah, okay. Okay. I'm trying to think what kind of candy this is. Don't they have some kind of candies you could buy that have like rum in it, but you know it's not alcohol or something? I don't know. It's got to be the Trader Joe's, man. I'm calling it Trader Joe's. I got it. I got it. What I don't understand is how I got it wrong twice before, because I wasn't going up against any other rum cask finish. But like I always say, you take a whiskey and you try it solo. It'll taste a certain way. Say, oh, look, it tastes like this and that. Give descriptions, give a score. Then you put it in competition. And it seems like every time you try it, it'll taste like a different product. Like each whiskey that you put it in competition against will draw out different flavors that you didn't expect. And it will get you so confused. Oh, so very confused. But not in this case. No. Now, does a Tomatin taste like a stronger whiskey? Not too much. Medium body, dry finish, bread dough, in a scintilla of smoke. Would I call it a smoky Scotch? Nope, sure wouldn't. But I would call it a Scotch with a smoky under flavor. There is a character of it, a hint of it. Let's say. Do I like it? Boy, I love it. Actually, I think I got a good deal, $26.99, and I'm pleased with it. And I still have a good, let's see, 25, 50, 75. Yeah, I would say probably over 25% of the bottle left. And I've been sitting on this thing for like, what, 8 years? I can really nurse them along, let me tell you. Some people say you're drinking whiskey every day. Look, if I was guzzling these things, you think I'd have these bottles 9, sometimes 8 years. I don't know about 9, 8 years after I cracked it open. How could I nurse them along that for that many years? That's not possible. I'm not trying to waste them, and I don't have any kind of great drive to drink whiskey. I like to taste it. Oh man, come on, Trader Joe's. Only thing they're showing is Tomatin 12 year, which is $53.99. It's going to be higher, and the sherry cask finish. It's the 12-year age and sherry finish and sherry cask for another $10, $63.99. I don't know if I'm gonna buy that one. That seems a little pricey there. Oh golly, let's see Walmart. I guess Tomatin isn't a big seller if Trader Joe's only carrying 2 varieties. So I don't know what to say about it. Walmart's showing 1. They dropped to 12. Yeah, I guess Tomatin in the United States is kind of a low popularity. Okay, Tomatin is $39.48. Man, that's a lot higher than when I bought it. $26.99 went up $13. Well, $12.50. Oh, ouch! I'm glad I bought it when I did. It seemed like right after I bought the Glenmorangie and the Tomatin, that's when the price started to spike. So maybe something happened that you can't say it's tariffs because we're talking about, like I said, 7, 8 years ago. Oh, yeah, they dropped the 12-year. All they're showing is Glenmorangie, the regular old Glenmorangie, which is out of stock right now. I mean, it might come in stock next week. Okay, it only went up $3.50 over those years. $3.50. Can't really fuss too much about it. What other single malts does Walmart have? Well, I'll show you on the screen share because I got to go on to the news in a minute. I'm gonna give the win to the Tomatin. I think it tastes better. I'm not knocking the Trader Joe's, but too funky weird with that Caribbean rum. Okay. All right, other single malts. The Glenlivet Founders is $2 more, 56. It's funny because it's aged less than 12. Glenfiddich 59, yeah. Glenmorangie 39.98. Now see, that's a good deal. 9.98 Glenmorangie. It's kind of bland though. From my the price dropped on Johnny Walker. That's a blended high rye, $20.12. It dropped about 15 cents, 16 cents. Boy, if you want to get something and you want to get a deal, go run and get that. That thing is a jewel, I think. This is me speaking for myself. Come on, any more single malts? All blended. Macallan, 84.98. You know that's like the Macallan. 84.98. Well, I may have to I may have to make my way up that ladder. I don't know when I'm gonna be on those rungs. All right. Well, Walmart does have a big liquor selection where I live. I mean, you go in there and it's like, how would I ever try all this stuff? And really, if you wanted to save time and effort, I live half a mile from Walmart. I could walk there in 10 minutes. Or a little more than that, but probably not much more because I have to cross US Highway 61. But I'm just, saying walk. But you could only go to Walmart and buy liquor and you'd never have to go anywhere else. Now with beer, maybe you'd have to go because Walmart has a set. They pretty much have their set beer products and they don't change too much. They got a pretty decent craft beer section, but it's the macro craft beers, except for they do have Louisiana's Great Raft craft beers. They do bring in some Louisiana ones and some Urban South, but mostly it's just your Lagunitas and your Bells and stuff like that. But they did drop Rolling Rock. They brought in Pabst non-alcoholic, but they don't sell Pabst Blue Ribbon. I don't know why. Walmart does, curiously. Murphy Solino says Hennessy rating 8 or 7. Hennessy, the VS, I'd give that a 9.3. I really like it. I don't buy it. It's expensive, but I've had it. I like it. All right, well, let me go watch the news. Y'all take care. The winner, yeah, the VS. I like it. Now, the VS OP Privilege, that's your real winner. That thing is a jewel. And the Hennessy Black, which I don't think they make that anymore. But, yeah, that's a really great one. All right, y'all take care. Bye-bye. The winner, Tomatin.